Welcome back to another episode of Ying and Yang. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the history of China and the dynasty of China, which is the Tang Dynasty. And I know Yang is extremely excited for this topic because he loves China's history. So before we get into it, darling, how was your week? How has it been? What have you done? Talk to me.
Well, I've been at work most of the week. I've just been at work. I had half a day yesterday where I sat down and drank some cocktails. The limoncello spritz, probably about 3. Yeah, that was nice. And yeah, just get some game of pool last night as well. It was very, very, very nice. What have you been up to this week?
I had a boring week this week. It was just a chill week for me. Like I've done most of my, house and yard work. I mean, it's raining now again. So that means I have to go and cut my grass and then like tomorrow once it doesn't rain because it's gonna be high. So that's about it for me. I haven't had anything exciting like you. I haven't had any. Well, I've had a few cocktails. Yeah, my back Red Bull.
So you're referring to something else then?
You're starting too early. You're starting too early in this. Let's not do this. Let's just get into the history of China and let's talk about the Tang Dynasty.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you had me do some research on this empress. Forgive me if I offend anyone with my pronunciation. I am not good with pronouncing because when I first moved here, I thought it was Leicester and not Leicester. So just give me a little grace. Give me a little grace. So we're gonna be talking about Empress Wu Zetain. Yeah. In how I understand this about what I understand about her is that she basically climbed herself. She climbed the ladder, basically. But Yang is going to go into a bit more details that I am excited to get into because, listen, back in the 80s, they had drama. We have a modern day drama. We have our modern day drama. I could literally, summarize this up in a modern day, explanation. But he wants to go into, the nitty gritty in the how she get there, how she became this holy and divine emperor. So yeah, let's get into it, darling.
Amen.
So I know she married quite young, at 14, I think it is. And she married, well, she didn't really marry, did she? She kind of she was a concubine. Right?
She was a concubine of the first emperor.
Mm-hmm.
She climbed her way up the ladder from being just a maid that entered the palace at like the age 14.
Maid.
A maid.
I didn't get that part. See?
She's like a maid that was in the palace. She climbed the way up. You go through department to department and you become closer to the king. Well, not the king, the emperor,
mm-hmm.
the princes and all that lot. And the crown prince, because they have a lot of different statuses than what we do.
Right.
So she started off as a maid, then became a concubine of the first emperor, and he is Taozong, Empress Taozong.
Okay.
I think I'm pronouncing that correct as well. She captured his, what do you want to call it? she was favored by him. That's what I'm trying to say, and he became close to her. They would have to sleep with the emperor, all of them, like all of his wives would have to sleep with the emperor. And they end up with like 100 kids at the end of their reign.
Wait.
You know,
you have to simplify that, because in a way, one female could produce 100. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. And back then,
no, not one female. Like,
right.
All of his concubines, consorts, noble consorts,
that's what I'm saying.
Imperial consorts, empresses. Because during his reign, he doesn't just have one. They can all change. They all go from title to title.
So she was the main concubine. Like, she was, okay, I forgive me if I offend. Like I say, we're in modern times and we're simplifying it. I am not trying to bring this lady's down. I don't want to bring her down. I want to bring anything she accomplished down. But in simple terms, she was main side chick.
Yeah.
So she was
overall.
One.
She was what?
She was the one, like side chick one.
Yeah, she was number one. Yeah, you could say along down the lines. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of tails, traps, and like sabotages back then that prolonged her path, even just to the first emperor. But yeah, she did many things for him, and she became pregnant with his baby. Right.
But I read, maybe you could confirm or deny, because this is your thing. So I've read that she was born into a wealthy family, and then with being born into a wealthy family, she was afforded to be well educated, which is a plus back then. Now we take advantage. We just look past being educated now, but back then it was a hot commodity. Like, if you're educated, you could, and that's probably why she was able to climb up that ladder. She went far up, and she went to the top.
She was well educated in horse riding, reading, writing, agriculture, politics. Yeah. How do you think she climbed that ladder? She got it somewhere.
Oh, I admire this, this lady. She started from, like you said, from the bottom, and she really went. This is like started from the bottom. Now we're here. Yeah. So this. I love this. This story, this part of China history, because it literally gives an example of really, really starting from the bottom and working your way up in life, and reaching your goals, reaching where you want to go. So her first, so she was the concubine, the first concubine to I would not want to embarrass myself or insult China's history by pronouncing this man's name, the emperor's name, incorrectly. So I would just say Sir Emperor. Yeah, so you go ahead, fill me in on because I think I have some of the facts wrong, because I did not know she started from what do you call it? A cleaner, a maid.
A maid.
Yeah, I thought she started as a secretary to the king, or the emperor, sorry.
Yeah, that's how she built her way up to become how she is now. That's what I'm saying. You climb the ladder from the bottom to the top. Okay. Damn, girl, you open that bottle with your teeth.
Why you put my business out there? Why you put my business out there?
It's okay, let's carry on. What were you saying?
Right. So she had her first child. I was not able to see at what age, but I know she did had a child with the emperor, and I think was that after the first empress died, or was it during her being alive? Because nowadays it's kind of, it's not taboo, but it happens, but it's not common anymore. Whereas, you know, men having 100 wives, you know, and it's I'm not saying it's not happening, it's happening every day, but it's not common. It's not supposed to be that no more. It's supposed to be one, but it ain't.
Yeah, well, here it's supposed to be one, and back in the day, it's they can have as many as they want. That's how they get their political power behind it, and that's how they did it all, to build their nations and dynasties. I think the emperor you were talking about before he became emperor, his name was Prince Li Zi. He was the emperor, the son of the emperor, and that's who this Empress Wu Zetain met. The second emperor that you're on about, Emperor Taozong, and he was actually married to somebody before he met Empress Wu, and that's how they became connected. But obviously, she was married to the emperor, so she couldn't fulfill her dream to be with the prince. But in the end, he popped his clogs and he became the emperor. And his wife, Empress Wang, became the Empress of China with him.
But what happened to his first wife? Like, I didn't see anything. Well, I didn't. You invested more time into this than I did. I just figured that, you know, it was another topic you want to have a conversation about. And I know that you love the history. So
Empress Wang, that's who it is.
Yes.
The emperor exiled him and his concubine away, and that's how he made Empress Wu Zetain the empress.
So he exiled his first wife
and his concubine, yeah, to make her.
But isn't he the son of the first emperor?
Yeah.
So basically, that's her stepson.
It was, until he died, and she was sent to a monastery because the king had died and she didn't bear a child and she had to have her head shaved. But yeah, he called her back. True love.
That's what you calling it? That's what you want to call it? Because these days, that's not what the hell we calling it. That's
Well, back in them days, it was just for power. Everybody just wanted power. They wanted to be at the top. Top. I'm in charge.
I love history, but listen, I feel like this one just is filled with drama, and I don't want to offend anyone. So I am keeping back a lot of words that I would like to say because I think I would offend. Because this is drama. When I read this, I was excited. I was like, ooh, yeah. Get it, girl. You growing up. Yeah, yo. It's exciting. So let's get into it, baby. Give me the tea. Give me the mess. Tell me.
Well, when she became empress, she was what anybody would say these days, reformed China to what it is today.
But what I read was, correct me if I'm wrong, that the first emperor, he was the one that has changed China and made China to what it is today based on him being open to criticism and reform. So I've read that he was the one that made, you know, that type of change.
He did in the start. He was making China change in ways that China hadn't changed before, but it was truly her behind the secret doors, because it's the emperor. He controls everything. But in the back, it was her. She was controlling everything. She was signing off on every political, with a decree. They used their stamp to stamp it to say, yep, the emperor approves. It was her. She did it all. The emperor's there ill in bed. She's doing it. She's doing it behind closed doors. He's sick in bed. He only goes to assembly meetings, fills in with the officials, but she's approving everything. She did it way, way, way back before anybody would probably think that she did.
Well, the saying, I feel like this is where the saying comes from. Behind every great man is a great woman. And based on what you're saying and what I've read, like, her education worked for her. She should know what she was doing, and this is empowering to just read a story about another, woman moving from, being just a woman and move to a higher power. But I don't want to go too far into it, but just to add also that even though most men tend to think women are emotional creature. We are, some of us. Some of us are also savages. And she had her savage moments, I've read. Like, fill me into that bit. Or you want to go back further and then, talk a bit more about how, a little bit more about her personality and, her, just a little bit more, because then I feel like this is going to be a bit long episode.
Oh, we can do that. We can do the part where she exiled her sons and killed her baby. You want to go to that part first? Or do you want to go to a way, way back, like different scenario type?
But I didn't know about that part. I've read about a part where, and they said it's not confirmed. It is just a rumor, and you know how rumors are. Sometimes some part of rumor tends to be true, but it was a rumor that she, in order for her to get to the stepson, the emperor, the second emperor.
Yeah, Taozong.
Yeah.
Taozong, sorry.
Him, the emperor.
Him.
Yeah.
That one.
She killed her daughter. That's the rumor. It's not confirmed. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, that's what way, way back means. Like, how do you think the first wife got exiled? It was because she got framed for killing the Empress Wu Zeitain's first child. How do you think she became empress? TTT way back in the day, but it was actually, unconfirmed that it might be Empress Wu Zetain. Oh, look at this drama.
Man, listen, this is drama. So what you're saying is that Empress Wu was behind the first wife being exiled. That's what you're saying? That's what I'm hearing? Am I hearing correctly?
That's from what I've read in history, yeah. The combinations together.
Okay. Interesting. Savage. So what about the daughter? Like, how did that story came about? How did that rumor started? Like, give me a little something.
Yeah, I'm not confirmed in history, because it's not all, like, you won't be able to know exact details, but I've read some places, things left behind, or someone seen close behind. But back in them days, the maids and the servants and all those type of lower class people would be paid or threatened by the higher class people to actually just do and lie for them and actually do their deeds and get killed off for it. If their family works off better in the long run, they'll do anything they want or anything they can to make sure people just die like that. crazy, isn't it? Like, savage, speechless, speechless.
You can see my face, right?
You're like, what the is going on? Who would do that?
Yeah. Because I'm trying to figure out, right? This is what I'm trying to figure out. Like, back then, these emperors, empress, kings, queens, they were playing chess, literally. Yeah. Nowadays, we modern people, we freaking playing checkers. We don't know nothing about playing chess. They know how to play chess, because I love history as well. I've never looked into or read any of the China history. I was never really interested. I really more so like to read the history of England and savages.
Savage. Yeah, well, back in them days, they were looked at and scared of and threatened, and some were loyal, some were threatened, some felt like the whole families, because if you dared to defy the emperor, your whole 9 generations of family will be executed. If it's a off with their heads. It wouldn't be that. It would be drink poison. Yeah, have some poison. Just
drink.
Yeah, and it just kills you like in seconds, basically. You just drop dead there, knowing that you're going to die for something you probably didn't do. You've been framed for.
See, and I feel like with that statement, to be honest, right? I don't think I would have lasted long back in them days. I feel like as soon as I came out the womb crying like a baby, I'd be dead. Because
or you probably wouldn't even be crying because you wouldn't even be crawling out the womb, because the person carrying you would have been dead before that. Like, it's a whole different generation you thought you'd be living, but probably not. Just think of the imagination and the deepness of, I might have not been alive at that point, off with their head.
Look at this. Look, just imagine then in the 680s, people, like women are killing daughters and sons to get in position. Men are doing the same thing, and it's like insensitive. And if you really, 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 really think about it, us modern people, most of us anyways, because we still got some savages on earth, we still do have those type of people. We will be like gobsmacked. Like, I mean, look at it. It's not too long ago hanging was a thing. And then when it becomes too much, it becomes where we're saying, oh, it's inhumane, it's crazy, it's barbaric. And now, back when I was younger, in order for, when you're raising a child, you spit a rod, spoil a child kind of, thing. Now, children basically running. You look at your child sideways, wrong, and they take up that phone and they call child services and say, listen, my mom is abusing me. And knock on your door. Either they remove this child, or they're monitoring you and pop-up visits, making you uncomfortable in your own home. But back then, none of this existed. I understand. Trust me, I understand. We have come a long way.
And a long way. Like 2,000 years, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I didn't want to drag the long out. So yeah, we've come a long way, like a mighty long way. And to go back in history and to read the type of punishment, sentences, there was no, just like, I feel like when I used to watch the history, I feel hard, like as if it was happening to me, like it was a lot of injustice happening back then. And if the king doesn't like you, you dead. If the queen doesn't like you, you're dead or exiled or something.
If nobody didn't like you, you're dead. Anybody with a higher power or a title, nobody liked you, you're dead. They had thousands and thousands and thousands of people killed off if they didn't like you. Do you know? Have you ever heard about this is like way. This is like 210 AD, way back to the dynasties of when China was first ever founded. I don't actually know his name off by heart. Got it written down here. Just give me a moment. Qin Shi Huang, if I'm pronouncing that right. He was the one that first formed China in like ways, probably in ways better than Wu Zetain could ever imagine. He stole kingdom to kingdom to kingdom to kingdom and created China. He was the first.
So let me ask you this question. So is this confirmed? Is it a fact? Because, you have people like Columbus claiming to found islands and countries and places that was already inhabited by other people. So is this fact?
Yeah, you can find videos on this. You heard of the Teriyaka Army? Teriyaka?
No, I haven't. Listen, I haven't. You teaching me China history. Are you making me want to go now and like
Netflix? Go on to Netflix. Teriyaka Army. It's about an army that was discovered in China in 1947, I think, or 1997. It's literally a monumentum of the first emperor of China, where it's like 200 burial tombs of like different concubines and consorts and family to the emperor, and people that died, like generals and people that lived and loyaled for their kingdom. Literally, it's on YouTube, it's on Netflix. You can find all of it. Most fascinating things to watch. Honestly, it's crazy to think that you would have half of family literally buried with you. Stories told that the first emperor was buried in a bronze casket around a river of mercury upon a monumentum where his concubines were also like left to die with him just in the tomb. Like as a sacrifice to the gods.
That is, listen, I can't. Is there another word to use other than savage?
Brutal. Brutal, sorry. Brutal.
Oh my God. Oh wow. Well, I wouldn't survive because I can't be a concubine. I don't like to share. Mm-mm.
So you'd want to be the empress? You want to be main at all? The top notch bitch.
I think I would be okay just being a commoner, because at this rate, like a commoner living better than concubine or empress.
That's slavery time, like full on commoners.
Oh shit!
Slavery time.
Nobody. Well then, listen. At this point, right? What I'm understanding at this point, like nobody living good. So concubines, commoners, empress, like everybody has their like they're gonna have the tough time. But I don't feel like, man. Just imagine me. I would eat everybody on that little island. Like I really feel.
Nobody will be left alive.
I listen at night. Somebody going missing, like, and I'm coming back with meat, and then we
don't even have to do it at night time. Broad daylight. Yeah, but listen, we don't want to. We want to do this smartly. We want to make sure that
only you alone know what's going on, because then you want to stay alive and find a way off of that area. You know what I'm saying? So I sneak in somebody every night, and I'm taking my meat and I'm bringing back meat for everybody. I'm fattening you up while I'm killing you.
Unbelievable.
Hey, back then it was savages, okay? I'm thinking like a savage at this moment, right? I don't know if I could do it today, but I'm thinking like a savage. I probably could if I'm forced to. But I'm thinking like a savage. Every night, I'm sneaking and I'm killing and I'm bringing back meat. I'm fattening you up and then I'm eating you. So we're staying alive together and then you're going to die. Last man standing. Yeah.
Unbelievable. You're going to be cannibalism back in them days. Oh. You only do that on like top survival when you're like dying. You're going to eat somebody else. Correct?
I feel like you would do anything to survive at this point, and I feel like reading that's what they basically are doing, like anything to survive.
No.
No.
I'm not eating somebody to survive.
Survival of the fittest. Well, I eating you. I'm starting with your hand.
I've got nothing on me. You can't. You literally cannot. You'll get like a wither of meat before you hit the bone.
That's okay. I mean, it's okay. I'll eat until I am full. Like, I don't care. I'll eat your eyeballs.
That's disgusting. No, I'm not eating a human.
So I feel like we're kind of getting off a topic here. We're talking about everything else except for this amazing Empress Wu. I would like to know, after marrying her stepson, the Emperor, second Emperor, yeah, in that bit, like, we know that she had kids with the first Emperor. The second Emperor, she's marrying into him, and she's now older and apparently wiser. You know, she was already educated. She already had her experience of the first Emperor. So now she's married the second Emperor and became an Empress.
Yeah, it's a long story in a way that she's probably done it, and
yeah, but we have time for that. That's the purpose.
It way back, if you like, how she's reformed China to a way you would think people would live in today's day and age. But how far did you want to go back?
What I want to know is this. We take another time, because we have time to discuss this. We're going to definitely do a second part of this. Why is it? I understand fully well. You don't need to go back into the second Emperor in the concubine bit. I understand she was a concubine then. She married the Emperor's son, who became the new Emperor. And she's no longer a concubine. She is now an Empress. So what I want to know is this. He had a wife before her, and before he became an emperor, right?
Yeah.
How is it that she was able to obtain the title of an empress if he had a wife before her? Because at this point, you say she was put in exile, and that doesn't mean she was, she's dead. Like, she was sent away. How did she obtain this name? How is it that she was able to become, become the empress? How did she get that name, the Empress?
I'm going to answer that. It's when the other Empress was exiled and the concubine, she became the Empress because she bared a child of the Emperor the first time. She was favored by the Emperor. And that's how she became the Empress, and just like that. One can be turned over and another one can come. Just like that. A new page being turned in a book. Bish bash bosh.
Okay, darling. So thank you for that answer. I am going to stop you and I'm going to end it here. We're going to still continue the conversation, but we're going to continue that conversation on episode 5. And we're going to go deeper into this Empress Wu Zetain. Did I pronounce it correctly? I hope I did.
Wu Zetain.
Yes, that lovely Empress. So we're gonna stop it right here. We're gonna get into that more into it next week episode. So that's it, folks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and bye.
Bye.